The last thing we're going to do for 1.5 is kind of make it its own little chapter. So we looked at inequalities, solving linear inequalities, identities and contradictions, solving with fractions, and now we get to go to applications, but we're only going to do two. So the first thing is you have to recognize that this is going to be an inequality application versus an equation in application. So you're going to see words like exceeds, right? So if A exceeds B, you'd have A is greater than B. This could be something like Juan's age, J, exceeds 21. Or is at least. Juan is at least 21 would be J is greater than or equal to 21. Is no less than means that it has to be greater, right? No less than B, greater than or equal to. So Juan is no less than 21, so they're 21 or greater. And then is at most, is M is less than or equal to 10, and is no more than is less than or equal to. Okay, so Mia is no more than 10 years old means that she is less than or equal to 10. So when you see those words, now we're going to just translate these sentences into inequalities. This one says, if 12 is subtracted from a number, then the result is at most 4. So 12 is subtracted from a number. If we let that number be x, 12 is subtracted from this number. Then the result is at most. If you look at that one, it's kind of this, well, it's not kind of, it is. A is at most B means we're using the less than or equal to sign. So if it's at most 4, it would be x minus 12 is less than or equal to 4. And then you're just going to solve this as an inequality. So I'm going to add 12 to each side, and I get x is less than or equal to 16, which means the number must be less than or equal to 16 for the result to be at most 4. The second application is going to be an average application. So they'll say something like Alex has test scores of 92, 90, and 80 on her first 3 tests. What score must she make on her 4th test to keep an average of at least 90? Now, the first thing we have to review is how to find an average. So an average is that you add up all the things you have and divide by the number of things there are. So if I want 4 test scores, you're going to be dividing by 4. My first 3 test scores are 92, 90, and 84. And then my 4th test score would be unknown. So to find the average of 4 test scores, you'd add up the 4 test scores and divide by 4. One of them's unknown, so we're going to use our x. Now we know that this average has to be at least 90. At least means greater than or equal to. And if you're not sure, right, put this chart somewhere. Is at least would be the greater than or equal to sign. And then we're going to solve this. Now to solve this, there's a couple ways of going about it. Just kind of what the order you're going to do things in. I'm going to get rid of this fraction first. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4 to get rid of that divided by 4. I would end up with 92 plus 90 plus 84, and I'm actually going to do that too. I'm going to do 2 things at once. I don't usually. So 92 plus 90 plus 84 is going to give me 266. So I've got 266 plus x. The 4 divided by 4 was a 1, so I'm not multiplying anything through. And then on the right-hand side, I have 90 times 4, which is 360. Then I'm going to get x by itself by subtracting 266. And I would end up with x has to be something greater than 360 minus 266, which is 94. Now this one's more of a word question, so I'm going to give a word answer. Therefore, Alex must score at least 94 on the 4th test. Awesome. So those are your 2 types of applications. So type number 1, you're going to be given this sentence where you have to translate it into an inequality and then solve. And then the second one will be some sort of an average, average test scores, average rainfall, average anything. Good luck.